Hello, Django developers. I'm excited to bring to you another interesting Ultimate Django REST Framework authentication course. In this tutorial, we are going to be building a complete JC Web Token authentication REST API service, which contains everything you need for a real-time REST API authentication service, including registering a new user, logging a user, log out a user, email verification with OTP, password reset, and we'll also be implementing social authentication which include authenticating with Google and authenticating with GitHub and maybe Facebook. And one interesting thing is we're going to be building this without using any of the popular third-party authentication package that the Django REST Framework provide. We are going to be building this with just Django REST Framework and the Django REST Framework Simple JWT. Alright, so this is going to be a complete authentication package that you can easily customize to your need. We are going to be using the custom user model and just integrate it into your own project. And secondly, we're also going to be integrating it with a React frontend that you can already see in your screen now. And we're going to be building React frontend to test out our APIs. And lastly, you're also going to be learning how to effectively use refresh token in the frontend because our access token is going to be short-lived. So our refresh token is going to automatically refresh our access token using the Axios interceptor. Alright, so we're going to be doing a lot in this authentication service. It's just a complete authentication module that you can integrate into your project. It's going to be a fun time with you guys. Alright, so if you've not subscribed to this channel, it doesn't cost you money to subscribe. Please subscribe to help the channel grow and also give this video a thumbs up. Alright, I've already had a basic Django application set up. Nothing too much, just to speed up development time and not to bore you with the need to have be installing Django and creating virtual environment and all that. So I went before time to create a virtual environment. Alright, in any choosing folder of your choice and install Django REST Framework and the Django REST Framework Simple JWT. I've created a simple Django project called Django REST Auth and also create just two apps. We have our account app and the social account app created. So if you check our requirement.txt file, you see the package that we've installed, just Django course header, Django environment, and Django REST and the Django REST Framework Simple JWT. So these are the basic we've done. We've installed them already. We have, if you go to our settings file, let's see what we've done in our settings. Basically, we just added the Django REST Framework and we added the account app, the social account app, the course header, and also the course header middleware, which is here as this part of it. So these are the basic setup that I have done. So we're going to pick up from here. So firstly, before we start creating our custom user model, I want to quickly set up our environment file. Alright, environment file is actually used to keep sensitive data secret while we create environment variable that we can use to access to secret data. Alright, so we installed a package to actually handle that, which is the Django environment. So we're going to quickly set that up. Just create a .env in your root directory here, call it .env. Alright, so this is the file that we use to create and keep sensitive data. So we need to set it up so that our Django settings can actually read any kind of credentials that we put in here. So first of all, we're going to import go to the top of our settings file. In here, we're going to import the environment. This environment is actually coming from this package that we installed, which is Django environment. So in our having import environment, here we just bring in the variable environment equals to environment.env. Debug, we set the value equals to false, we put the type here. It's just a set casting. You can get all this from the documentation of the Django environment. Alright, next we have to set the variables to read. So we don't say environment dot read. This we use to read the environment file from our base file. So basically, this is all we need for our Django settings to be able to get values that we placed here. Alright, so that's not all. Once we save this, now we just, in our settings, we just need to grab the secret key. Here we'll create a variable called secret key. And just set it equals to the value without the string colon. All right, so once we save this in our settings, we can easily read this one by basically just by just calling the env, sorry, in lowercase, the env followed by string, then we'll call g, which is the variable that we paste in here. That's this variable here. So that's that. So any other credentials that need to be kept secret, we can also add them, like in our debug. We can also take our debug arc. Alright, setting our debug, then in our environment file, we also create the variable of debug. Alright, so any other files that we need to, any other information that we need to bring in there, we take it there. For now, those tools are okay, so we can save that now. And secondly, we'll move over to our model. We can start creating our user model. As you already know, Django comes with its own built-in user model, which allows us to log in with password and username, which uses session authentication. But Django always advises us from the documentation, we are advised to always create a custom user model whenever we are building a Django project. Alright, and Django provides for us two ways for us to actually implement custom user model. We can use an abstract user class or abstract base class. The abstract user class actually allows you to add on top of what the Django built-in user model already have. Probably you want to add maybe extra feeds. You can use the abstract model. But when you want to build your own user model from scratch, from bare bones, we use the abstract base class. So for this tutorial, we're going to be building our own user model from scratch. So we're going to be using the abstract base class, which we're going to import. So we're going to say from django.contrib.auth.models. You can see it's giving us a hint, abstract base class, and also we're going to import the permission missing. So what the permission missing does, if you hover it, you can see it gives a brief explanation of the permission missing. It says add feeds and method necessary to support groups and permission models using model backend. Alright. So then we also need to import get lazy, test lazy, so we're going to be using this. So we can create our class now, and we're going to call it user also, which is going to inherit from the abstract base class and the permission missing. So here we can start specifying the feeds that we want to see in our own user model. So here we define the feeds that we want. So it's definitely going to have an email feed, which is going to be the models.email feed. Here we're going to set the mouse length. Here we're going to make it unique. So we're going to set unique. We'll say unique equals true. Then we're going to set the verbose name. And the verbose name, we're going to set it with the underscore get lazy test, which was this get test lazy that we called as underscore. So we're going to define the name. We'll call it email address. That's for the email address. Then we can just add a first name, which is also going to be a character feed. Alright, so the same thing for the last name. You can just quickly just grab this and rename it to last name. Change the name to last name. Alright, so if you have any other custom field, maybe like the phone number, the age, or whatever you want to put there, you also put that there. Then after that, I'm going to bring in all the Boolean fields that is needed, like the is-admin, staff. So we need that. So the is-admin, which is staff, is super user. Then we want to add is verified, which we're going to be using for verification, is active, date join, and last login. So next we're going to create the username feed. So we're going to say username feeds. Then this is the feed that we want to use for our login. So it's going to be our email feed. So we want to use the email feed. So then we need to specify the required feed. Alright, so this is going to be a list. So the list, all we want inside this list is going to be, we want the first name and the last name. Then we need to set the objects which we've not created. So we're going to say object equals to user manager. We've not created the manager yet, we'll create it shortly. Define our string representation. Let's just say .email. We can also define a custom function method to get the full name of the user. Can just say get full name. Sorry. Get underscore full name. And this is basically going to return the full name of the user. We can use the f string, and which we will pass in the self.first name space self.last name. Alright, so this is going to return the full name. Remember, we're going to be doing a token using web token authentication, so we're going to create a method which we're going to define as called tokens. This one going to begin self. But for now, we're going to just give pass. Then this, we're going to make this a property. But meaning property on top of the get user model, gets the full name. With all these said, so let's quickly create the user manager. So I'm going to create everything for better organization. I'm going to create a manager file. So we're going to call it manager.py. So create a manager module. Here we're going to define our user manager. Alright, so let's just quickly import user manager. We're saying from .manager, we'll import the user manager which we've not created. Managers. Also update it here. Alright, so that's that. So let's head over to our managers.py file and create the user manager. So in here we're also going to import in some things. So we're going to import from Django.country.auth.model. Just want to import the base user model. Alright, you can see it's giving us a hint. Then secondly, we need to import validation error from Django.exception. Yes, we're going to import validation error. We're also going to import from Django.core.validators. And this time I want to import the validate_email. Alright, so using this one to validate our email feed. Then we also need the get test lazy, so let's just grab it from here. We imported it before. Alright, we'll bring that in, so we are good to go. So let's create our manager class. We're going to call it user manager. That's what we'll call it, which is going to inherit on the base user manager class. Alright, so yeah, basically first of all we're going to create a simple function called email validator. So this is basically going to take itself to refer to our class, then the email that we want to validate. So here we're going to put in a try and sub block. First of all, we need to pass the email first, try and pass the email to the validate email, and we're going to say except we have a validation error. Then we want to raise a value error. Alright, so we're going to use the underscore for test lazy. This is the underscore for get test lazy. Here we're going to bring the test string by saying please enter a valid email. Please enter a valid email address. Alright, so I won't get in our validate method, our validate email method. So we can define our normal create user. Alright, create underscore user method is also taking self and takes in the email and also other required fields. Remember, we have required fields and model. Alright, which are the first name and the last name. So we're going to pass in the first name last name. Then we're also going to pass in the password and extra feeds. All right. So these are the arguments that we pass into this function. So first, we're going to check if the user provides an email. So we're going to say if email is provided, then we need to start our email validation by saying email. First of all, pass it to the self-normalized email. We'll pass in the email. And if it's a normal email, we want to call remember we called it email validator. We'll call email validator and pass in our email. All right. So this we make sure the email is validated. Then if for some reason maybe the user did not provide an email, so we'll say yes, an email was not provided, then we need to raise a value error. All right. So if an email is not provided, we'll raise a value error. Then user underscore test lazy, then we're going to say an email address is required. All right. So that will be our email validation. Then next we need to check if not first name. That means if the user did not provide first name, so we also want to raise a value error. So I'll just grab this. So if not user first name, that means user did not provide first name. So we're going to say first name is required. Same for so here we're going to create the user by saying user equals to self.model. All right. So here we're going to pass in the feed by saying the email equals to our email. First name equals to our first name. Last name just like that. Equals to our last name. Then put in the extra feeds. All right. So once we do this, we want to set our password by saying user.set underscore password. And this we want to pass in the password. All right. So this will help us hash our password. This set underscore password method, we hash the password for us. So once we do that, we want to save by saying user.save. And here we're going to say using all these are in the Django documentation. You can actually see them there. So we'll say save dot underscore db. All right. So once we do that, we want to return the user. All right. So this will create our user for us. So next we need to quickly create the super user. All right. User. This is also going to take in the same parameters. So we just grab these. All right. So yeah, we need to set some default values for the staff, is super user, and is verified. So here we just say extra feed the set default for his staff. We want to set it to true. Also for his super user, we want to set it to true. For his verified, so we want the super user to be verified automatically. So we want to make sure that when the super user is created, his staff and his admin are actually true. So we're going to create a very simple check. I say, so we want to get extra feed.get his staff is not true. If it's not true, we want to raise a value error says his staff must be true for admin user. Similarly, we do for super user also. So those are the basic validation we'll create for this. So once we have this, we're going to create the user by saying user equals to self. This time we're going to use the create user. So we're going to use the create user method that we define up here. So because we are accepting the same feed, here we're going to pass in the feeds just the way we passed them in. So passing the feed. So once we create the user, we're going to say the user let's save and say using equals to self dot underscore db. So once we save the user, here we want to return the user. All right. All right, that's all for our user manager. So we can save this and back to this place. We can let's make sure we're importing. Our importation is correct. Is user manager. Save this. So before we make our migration, we need to set the auth model user to let Django know the new auth model that we want to use. We'll set the auth user model. We're going to set it equals to our own account.user, which is the model that we define here, user model. All right. So we need to save that. So once we have that set up, so we can run our migration now. Let's double check and make sure everything is all right. All right. So this is going to be username fit, not fit, username underscore fit. All right. So let's check if we have any other issues. All right. So with that out of the way, we can make migration now. Run our migration by running Python manage by make migration. All right, you can see creating model user. So let's migrate. All right, so this will create a migration for us. Okay, so that's cool. So let's create a super user. Let's also run Python manage.py create super user. You see it's asking us for an email address, so we can just put in admin1@gmail.com. Asking for first name, we can just say first name is Henry, last name is James, password. Yes, we want it to be created. Alright, our super user was created successfully. Quickly add the model to our admin.py file, right? So we just quickly say from.models, we need to register it. Alright, so we have it registered. So we can start our server now and see if we can log in with our admin user. Run our server. Alright, our server runs perfectly well. Alright, that means everything is fine. So let's quickly go to 7, then want to go to the admin. So you can see email address is required and the password is required. So if we put in the admin password and the admin user email and the admin password, and if we log in, you can see we can log in as our admin. The user model is there. Alright, so that means our custom user model is actually working fine. So moving on from here, we're going to start working on our user serial. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.